Hello, everybody, and welcome to Stay on the Line Season 2. I am your host and creator, Terrah Card. Oh, aka Miss Rising Star 2022. A lot has happened. I had a little bit of a hiatus because, one, I sewed an outfit for... Oh my god, first of all, if you've never been to this podcast, we are a horror genre podcast, and we like to talk about something horror genre related every week, unless I take a little break. But that's okay, because I made an outfit for a red carpet that was worn by Evie Oddly. If you don't know, look her up. And I also was preparing for a pageant, and I won said pageant. I got my crown over here. I don't want to drop it. There's a crown there. And then I got 2 fucking trophies because I won Best Q&A and Best Talent. But anyways, that's where I've been, and I am excited to be back, and I am back with the correspondent of the podcast, Paula! Intern Paula. How are you? When are you? Guess.
What? When am I?
When are you?
You know, I'm in the present. No thinking about the past, just the present.
Wrinkle brain? Is that, I don't know. What have you been up to? You're busy. You're in university.
Booked and busy. I'm finishing off college, hopefully soon. Yeah, that's been most of my time. And I'm also the social media person for IMHO, which is also very fun and very time consuming, but I love it.
If someone doesn't know what IMHO is, can you explain it to them?
Oh my god, yeah. IMHO the show on YouTube and TikTok and Twitter and Instagram and all of that. It's basically a review channel with some former Chicago, that's so sad, former Chicago queens, Darby and Alexis, and then Chan is in the mix as well now, more off duty for Drag Race, but it's basically that. Follow us on TikTok. Yeah, IMHO the show on everything.
Yeah, everything that you see like edited, that's Paula. So when you see
on
those,
TikTok.
Yeah.
On TikTok.
When you see those videos that have like millions of views, that's her. You're famous.
I'm not, shut up.
And smart. I'm stupid. I couldn't even fucking figure out how to press record on this. So it kind of makes me nervous in case something happens. But we have our backup audio just in queso. I didn't say that because you're Hispanic and that I'm Hispanic. It's because I worked at a shitty Tex-Mex and they used to call it like the chips and dip that. Just in case.
So that's funny.
Paula, what are we doing today?
Today we are back to review, in my opinion, one of the scariest found footage movies, Grave Encounters.
I thought you liked As Above, So Below.
And this movie, Grave Encounters, I adore because I think why I find them scary is the not being able to leave aspect of both of them in different ways. I think in As Above, So Below, you have to suspend a little more disbelief than in this one. There is a sanatorium here. I don't know if I've ever talked about it. But there is a sanatorium here that reminds me so much of the building in that movie, and it scares the shit out of me.
There's a fucking bug. Sanitarium. No, I'm going, yes, queen, yes. Sanitarium, that's like a sanatorium. It's called like a mausoleum?
No. It's like a hospital. It used to be a hospital for people with tuberculosis here, and then it was an orphanage.
Question. According to Mayo Clinic, treatment for tuberculosis, or TB, involves taking antibiotics for several months.
That scared the shit out of me.
Siri said, I'm going to put the cis in tuberculosis. Okay.
Echo. Stop.
Oh, wait, no, that was Echo, sorry. Didn't mean to assume that was Siri.
Scared me. I was like talking. No, it's a sanatorium is a place where people used to go to heal. It used to be for tuberculosis. An orphanage.
Paula just turned around and stared at their fucking Echo.
just in case. And yeah, it's a building, and it's an abandoned building. It's not a hospital anymore. So people just go there, and that's where I took a picture of the ghost. Remember the picture I showed you?
Like, it was a hallway, right?
Yeah, it was a hallway. That's where that is. And it's super abandoned. It's graffitied all over the place, like the one in this movie. And yeah, it scares the shit out of me. This movie scares the shit out of me. I want everybody to know that.
If I go to Costa Rica, we can go there and, like, do a vlog.
Sure. The last time I was there, I was like, I want to leave immediately. The vibes are so off.
Oh, fully. We'll just look at the entrance, and we're not fucking going in.
There is actually a movie. They did a movie, like a Costa Rican movie. It's called El Sanatorio, and it's a found footage movie too. It's a fun movie. It's like a little bit of comedy elements, but it's like about this nun, because one of the big ghosts there is a nun.
Okay.
People see a nun and a little girl. It's so fun. I don't know if you can find it anywhere online with subtitles, but that'd be fun.
Not me just having to watch the movie 300 times to fully decipher the movie by myself. Or they could pay you to translate it.
It's a very old movie. I don't think anybody remembers it. It came out like 11 years ago.
Work. I mean, this movie came out 11 years ago.
I love this movie, but it scares the shit out of me. And I want you to know that we decided to watch this movie a couple days ago, and I watched it yesterday afternoon at like 5 p.m. I sat down and I watched it, and it was great. It still scared the shit out of me. I had to look away when you saw the ghosts, but
I won't lie, one jump scare did get me, and I've seen this movie probably like 5 times, and I
know. The one in the hallway. Oh.
Wait, what is that about?
Oh, I forgot. Zooms have a limit now.
Wait, this meeting will end in 10 minutes. Upgrade now to... What is this?
Yeah, I forgot that now with meetings with 2 people, they have a limit too.
2 people? Okay, what in the... Oh my god, let me fucking pause this fucking... That is homophobic. I can't believe.
No.
Journey to the center of this podcast. We are back, baby. I don't even know where we left off. You were talking about that movie.
Oh, yeah. Our movie, Grave Encounters. No, I was going to say that I watched this movie at 5 p.m. during the daylight for the same reason that I watch it every time during the daytime, because it scares the shit out of me. For some reason, I watched a million horror movies, and this one is one that scares the shit out of me. But I watched it at 5 p.m. Everything was great. For the first time in a while, I had a horrifying nightmare, and I woke up in a cold sweat at 2 a.m. It was a nightmare of me being stuck somewhere with ghosts, and I couldn't leave. And I woke up at like 2 a.m. I had to turn on my TV. I had to turn on my TV because I was so scared. This is what this movie does to me. It's not even that. It's not the pinnacle of horror. I don't know why it scares me so much. I think it's the aspect of being trapped somewhere forever that scares the shit out of me. That's why I like As Above, So Below as well.
My question for you was, if you had to be trapped anywhere, and I guess if there were ghosts, like, where would it be?
I think it'd be fun. No. No, I think it'd be fun if, like, I'm assuming I'm going to die in this situation, because I would not survive. I would make it like 2 hours tops. I think it'd be fun to be like a Five Nights at Freddy's kind of situation.
So you want to be trapped at Five Nights at Freddy's? Like
the last one where there's a bunch of cool shit around? Yeah.
The last one? Okay, but like how many do they have now? I don't
know. They have like 7. Do you remember that viral TikTok that was like, Vanessa, I'm whatever?
No, because I'm not hip and cool like you. You're the TikTok queen. I'm the fucking dumb bitch that just retweets your shit.
No, it's from that game, and there's like playgrounds, and it's a big ass place and whatever. You know, these like it's not indie anymore, but these like indie horror games where you're like trapped in a playground or something. That's where I'd want to be, because I know for a fact that I would die, and I would not want to be stuck in a place like the fucking Grave Encounters where it's all dark as shit and the ghosts are doctors who perform lobotomies.
Yeah, you could probably just be playing arcade games for the rest of your life.
What about you?
Where would I want to be trapped? Probably somewhere with food, so I could eat good ass food for the rest of my life.
So,
But,
Five Nights at Freddy's, Chuck E. Cheese.
okay. Is Chuck E. Cheese good though? I haven't eaten there in probably like 2 decades.
I don't know. That's the pizza.
Wait, does Costa Rica have something that's like Chuck E. Cheese there?
We have one Chuck E. Cheese.
Like a playground rat? Do you know what I mean? Like, do you have your own like Dave and Buster's or something?
No.
Okay, work.
We used to when I was very, very young. But never like a fucking rat. You know, it was just like a place where you went and played.
Why would anyone have a rat as their mascot? That's what I don't understand. I do want to say, Paula, what are we talking about today?
Today we are talking about the seminal film found footage icon Grave Encounters.
And give us a quick non-spoiler synopsis of the movie.
Okay, so Grave Encounters is about this group of people who are making a show a la Ghost Adventures, and one of the episodes is at some unknown location, but it's a creepy, creepy mental hospital, and they're supposed to film there for the whole night, and they get locked in, and then they never get out again.
Or maybe they do. Who knows?
Or maybe they do. Stay tuned for the sequel.
Stay tuned for the next 5 minutes when we totally spoil this movie. But before we do that, I wanted to say this is directed by Colin Minahan, Stuart Ortiz, the Vicious Brothers. Ooh, the Boulay brothers got a run for their money. It was also written by all 3 of those people, or 4, because I don't know how many brothers there might be. And this cast features Sean Rogerson as Lance Preston, who's the main person, who I was for about 15 to 20 minutes writing down Mike, and then I heard his name Lance, and I said, oh, his name is Lance. We also have Ashley, how do you even say that? It's Gryzko. Jerko.
Your guess is as good as mine.
Ashley Gator is played by, she plays Sasha Parker, or as Lance says in this movie, Sasha.
Or as we know her, the girl who gets tossed around the whole movie.
Literally. I envy her. And then we also have TC Gibson. TC stands for, you know what TC stands for?
Transphobe and casual racist.
I was gonna say Terrah Card.
I'm sorry. I can't get past the fact that he just started throwing slurs the moment he got scared.
He really did. He's played by Merwin Mondesser, and then we got Morgan Turner. We got other people. I don't even think I see Hudson on here, or Houston, and he was one of the main characters.
The psychic. And Matt.
Mackenzie Gray was Houston, and then Matt was played by Juan Reindinger. Don't ask me how to spell that. Yeah, if you are sensitive about words, there is one part where TC just like starts dropping the F-bomb and the R words, and I was like, wow, that was in the span of 5 minutes. He said, let's get this all out now. We're about to spoil the shit out of this movie, so if you want to watch this movie, you can, for free, on an app called Tubi, Tubi. There are some ads, but you can watch the first one and the second one, and we probably will be spoiling a little bit of the second one because why the fuck not? It's our show, so.
Yeah, also, I get the first and the second one mixed up a lot.
I do too.
Yeah, a lot of the things that happen.
Like the window. Thought the
like
window
the
was in this
window.
one.
And also where they like go back to the hotel and then the elevator opens and they're back there. Yeah. I thought that was the first one too.
Yeah, and I keep thinking that one girl that like runs around the corner and then disappears was in this one. I was like, oh, that's the second one. Was she lesbian? Something tells me she was. Yeah.
She was, because at the party, because the sequel, the first scene is 2 girls kissing. Oh my god, it follows us everywhere.
Gay right. Do you know what? Does anyone poop in this movie?
No, they eat a rat.
Oh, I guess we don't get any pooping or being lesbians in this movie. So, if you have not watched our other episodes, go watch our other episodes. At some point, a lesbian's in there taking a shit.
They are chaos. And 2 of them, actually.
Which one? And 2, yeah.
Green Inferno and The Favor.
No, it's called The Perfectionist, right?
Oh, The Perfection?
Or The Perfection.
Favor.
The Perfection.
What is The Favor?
I don't know.
Is The Favor? No, that's a Catherine Hahn movie. That's another found footage horror movie. With the kids that go visit the grandparents. Oh my god, then what's The Favor?
Oh my god, we need to watch. Honestly, okay, so I was talking to Paula about this. We haven't even talked about the fucking movie yet. I was talking about Paula about this. And would y'all be interested in commentary on the Patreon? Because, like, I think we should watch The Visit as a commentary on the Patreon.
Fuck yeah.
Have you seen it yet?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, like, fully, but I have been spoiled. Wait, we need to watch a movie we haven't seen, I feel. That's when I rewatched, not too long ago, Grave Encounters and then Grave Encounters 2, because I was like, why not? They're only, like, an hour and a half long.
Yeah.
2-hour movies,
I can only watch that movie. I watched it with my girlfriend a few months ago, and she was not into it. She did not care, and I was scared shitless next to her. I was like, how are you not scared? And she was like, cooking. Like,
that's always kind of like the worst thing when you like show someone like a horror movie or something and you're like, look, watch it, and they could give 2 shits about what's happening on the TV. I'm like, I get it if it's like kind of bad, but like, can you watch it for me, please? But yeah, we start this movie off with a warning. What you're about to see totally happened. And then
very Blair Witch.
Yeah. And we get the best intro of, because they're like, this was from a TV show called Grave Encounters, and we get the best, like, intro of what this TV show is. It's, like, quintessential. If you think of a ghost reality TV show, and you think of the intro to that, this is what this is. And I love...
It's perfect. And that's also one of the things I love about this movie is, like, how the characters are built, because I can't remember the name of this ghost show, but there was a ghost show somewhere with a guy that acts exactly like the main guy of this movie.
Yes.
Exactly.
I know
the
what you're
same
talking
dress
about.
is the same. Right?
And he talks like this.
Yeah. It's not Ghost Adventures. Is it Ghost Adventures?
I want to say it's Ghost Adventures or Ghost Hunters. Is it Ghost Hunters?
No, Ghost Hunters. Ghost Hunters is the other one. I think this one was a little bit newer. Ghost Adventures. It is. It's Ghost Adventures. It's the same guy.
Yeah, it basically looks like him.
It's so well built. Like, the characters are very stereotypical, and it makes it feel very real. Because at the beginning, when he's like, this is whatever this place is, and today we are going to find the ghosts that were tortured years ago. And then they, like, interview people.
There was 140 lobotomies. Like, he talks like that. It's like... And but the thing is, he talks like that the whole movie. He doesn't fucking stop. He talks like that the whole fucking movie. I wanted to ask you, what is one of your favorite things about this movie? Because one of my favorite things is when he's interviewing those people who, honestly, probably were like someone they found in town who could not give a fuck about what was happening.
Yeah, the gardener. He's like, I don't know, I just started working. I just started working here, I don't know. And then they pay him and they're like, he's worked here for over 10 years. It's not funny. It's funny.
And he's like, dead face, like, I was scared.
Yeah.
I saw a ghost.
I saw a ghost over there.
Who is it? They have, I think it's, oh god, I wrote the names down of these characters that mean nothing. His name's gonna be Jeff. When he's like interviewing the like construction person or whatever, do you believe in ghosts? And he's like, I don't know, dude.
I don't know.
He's like, did something paranormal happen? He's like, I don't know, someone fell. And he's like, oh, right on. And then the camera just zooms in on Lance, our lead person. It's like this fucking close in on him. And the guy is just standing there. He didn't know what to do, so they just zoomed in on him. And there's, like, many times when they're, like, talking to these people, like Kenny, the, like, caretaker. He's just like, do I look at you or do I look at... He's just
so funny.
Just talk
so
to
good.
me. But what was, like, one of your, like, favorite things about this movie? Because mine was kind of the dumb shit like that. Like, the behind the scenes of, like, making fun of a ghost show.
So funny. I think it's... My favorite thing about this movie is how it manages to actually feel real where there's like a clear before and after of, okay, before we're like throwing goo on the ground and claiming it's like ectoplasm from a ghost versus like somebody getting their hair pulled and they're like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
Like it's I love it because you can tell that they all thought it was bullshit. Like with the psychic, they told him about the girl who killed herself and they used that in the show, like he came up with it and shit.
Yeah. He like describes like a girl, blood. I see a lot of blood. He's like, wow, a girl killed herself in this bathtub. And he's like, wow. And then they end like filming and they're like, was that good?
Was that too much?
Yeah.
No, I love this movie. I love this movie because of that. And then I love this movie because I love movies that scare the shit out of me. And I think the scary element of this is not being able to leave. Like when they're trying to leave and they finally break down that door and it's just another fucking hallway.
But it's like, it's a payoff because like when they go to the hospital, the doors on the very front say death awaits. And you think, whatever, that's probably something we see once. But when they break through this door, like when they're trying to leave, because they're first of all, a little preface, they're locked in by the groundskeeper because they're asked to, and that he'll come back at 6 a.m. to let them out because it's spooky, I don't know. And he's not been back, so they've been spooked already. Like the crew wants to leave. So when they go through the door, they realize it's just another hallway instead of the outside like it should be. Like the place is switching around like a maze. And then they turn around and look at the door that they just busted through and it says death awaits. And it's just like a cool little touch that you didn't think of. It's like it just
it's perfect because they could have been like, okay, we got lost. This isn't the entrance. But then it's like, no, this door definitely was the entrance. And even when they like go to the roof access and it's just a wall, that scares the shit. Does that not scare the shit out of you? Like, imagine being stuck in eternal darkness in haunted hallways forever.
This reminds me, and I don't know if you know the game. Have you heard of the game Corpse Party?
No.
Okay, so Corpse Party is a Japanese game, and basically if you do this ritual, you basically get transported to this dimension of this school. And this school is just fucking haunted and it's gory as shit. Like people are getting their heads like exploded and all that stuff. But the cool thing about the game is like it's working weird in time where they just saw their friends get ripped in half and then like they make it back to their world and they realize none of them existed. But when they go back, not to spoil the game, but in the sequel game, they go back and they see their friend. They're like, wait, didn't you just die? And they're like, no, that didn't happen yet. So if there's a sequel to this movie, the third one, I would love them to go back to this hotel. I would love for them to go back to the hospital and then they see someone from the first movie or their second movie, like the whole film crew, and they're like, what are you guys doing here? It's like, aren't y'all dead? Like that, I think that'd be super cool to like play with time.
That'd be really fun. That'd be really fun because I feel like the first one kind of introduces them playing with time like that when the food is all rotten. Because I thought they never really explain how it works, but I always thought that they were like transported a little back in time to a different dimension, but like back in time where all the doctors were there and they could like get lobotomies and shit.
Also, you said this movie scared the shit out of you. You're the pooping lesbian this episode.
Oh my god, you're right. You're right. It always comes back to the pooping lesbian.
It's all coming back to me now. In 7 minutes, that's when they walk into the I keep wanting to say hotel. This is not a fucking hotel. They walk into the hospital and I said, we can now roll the credits because they have entered and they will not be leaving.
I love those kinds of movies where it's like, they didn't survive. This is what happened to them, just so you know. Like very Blair Witch. I love Blair Witch Project.
It's probably the same runtime of like, nobody dies in this movie until an hour in. They just walk around, they tease this window opening on its own, which I thought we would see in this movie, but you do not see it in this movie. You see it in the second one.
I definitely wrote down this fucking wheelchair because every time I see that wheelchair, it scares the shit out of me. I don't know why this movie
that's problematic.
Scares me to my core.
You said when I see a wheelchair, I
No.
Wow, Paula.
Whenever I see an abandoned wheelchair in an abandoned haunted mental hospital. Oh my god. No, but yeah. That's when it kind of starts, because that's when the ghost grabs Sasha's hair for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
But that's also one of my favorite parts, when Lance is kind of like taking pictures and you can see they're developed and there's ghosts all around them.
Mm-hmm. But they like specifically say, and I didn't notice that until this time watching this movie.
Really?
And I've seen this movie many times. I think because sometimes the photos, they go by pretty fast. They're not slow. So unless you're an idiot like me, you're not paying 100% attention, you're gonna miss it. But they specifically say, because they run through this whole thing, like, here's how you use these devices. But they say, we take photos with these now, but we won't see anything on it until we later develop it. But when we, as an audience, see them take the photos, so you can see, like, someone behind a glass and people standing in the hallway. So, and they're like, nobody's here, dude, let's fucking leave.
It probably means that they've been surrounded since they got there, which is kind of fucked up. What I thought is that the minute they go in and the minute it changes, they're being treated as patients, which is what happened to Matt, and he said, when we're all better, we can leave. So this whole time, it's the hospital kind of changing around like a maze so that they can never leave until they're better, which is what happens at the end. So they're basically being tracked down by this fucking crazy doctor that performed however many lobotomies when he was alive before he was killed by the patients. What was his name?
I'm trying to look at it. It starts with an L.
But I think that's like all the ghosts are trying to grab them to take them there. Because if you see, Matt got taken first and they found him alive with a patient, the hospital gown, and then TC gets taken, but you never see them get murdered.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably because they don't kill them then and there. They just take them somewhere where the doctor can, like...
Yeah. And I think his name is Arthur Freakin. Or it literally sounds like freaky, but...
Fredrickson?
Frickin' or something. Freakin'. It's like Cube. It's like the movie Cube, but it's like hallways and shit, and then like the like you said earlier, the roof door is just gone, and they explore this more in the second movie, which is pretty cool. So yeah, honestly, it kind of goes to shit, like when they eventually do decide to leave, they can't because they just end up in another place, and like they're like, well, Kenny's just gonna come here and get us, but Lance is realizing the sun's like, he's like, it's 8 a.m. and the sun rises at 7 a.m. and it's completely fucking dark out these windows.
If they got out, where do you think they would go? Because they're definitely not, like, in their dimension. They just, like, float around.
I know, that's why I'm like, I wish we could see, like, an outside, because they kind of show it in the second one. The second one, they do, like, physically see an outside. But, like, in Corpse Party, in that game, like, it's just, like, woods around them. And, like, all these dead bodies around the woods of, like, people who did get out and they just died. So...
Or, like, in Coraline, where the world just ends.
Yeah, it's probably like that.
Because you only see, like, darkness, complete darkness, which is very scary.
Yeah. And that's honestly because of the angle that they film a lot of this stuff, because a lot of it's, like, downwards. I feel like if you saw an upwards angle, you could be like, oh, there's streetlights outside. I like the logistics of a lot of stuff. The only setback, I would say, is when we finally see a ghost person, because they're still looking for Matt, they see, like, someone run by, and they're like, Matt, come here, and they go, and it's this lady, and she's in the corner, and then they're like, you good, bitch? And she turns around, and you see the most CGI, like, woo! Do you remember, that picture was everywhere on the internet. Oh, yes.
Everywhere. It scares me. It scares me a lot. I can't. I look past the CG. It's so scary to me. That one and the other one that goes in the hallway. It scares me. And the nurses and the doctor with the big eyes. It scares me.
I just wish they did practical effects for that turn. But they make fun of this in the second movie. In the second movie, yeah. They're aware that this movie has been out. And they're like, it's totally... Like, it starts off with people reviewing the first movie. We could have been in the movie. Grave Encounters 3?
Grave Encounters 3.
What if we were in the movie?
Call us. We have ideas.
Literally, we have ideas. You can do time loops, like you run into someone from the second movie and the first movie. Like, I think y'all can do that. Have some of them survive, and other people who survive the other ones die. Like, I think that would be cool.
That'd be very fun. Yeah, let's do it. People, the brothers, whatever.
The Vicious Brothers. Queen, they sound vicious. They slay down. Real quick, we are going to go to an ad break, and when we come back, we are going to be talking more about glory hole ghost mouths.
Welcome back to Stay on the Line. Today we are looking for ghosts everywhere. Ectoplasm, you got it. Glory holes, yup. Arslers, also for some reason. So, welcome back.
And we are talking about grave
encounters.
And when we get the little spook, Houston, who's our little, I guess he's gay because he's called a faggot. Which I hate Houston this whole time. He's like, well, what if there's magnetic plates that are causing
Yeah. And even Lance has to be like, dude, fucking stop it. Okay, we're fucking stuck in here. Stop it with your psychic shit.
He dies from, it looks like electric fart that kind of shoots at him. I don't know a better way to describe it, because when they all get scared, he gets separated from everyone. They're like, where's Lance? Or Houston. They're like, where's Houston? And like, it legit, like, he's getting choked out, and then it drops him. And then, like, there's just like a big, like, it's like a boom, but it looks like an electric fart kills him, and then he just flies and he dies.
I don't think he died, though. Like, I think they get knocked out, and they get taken to the basement and chopped their brains.
I mean, I don't think that could kill a person, because, like, he didn't really, bitch, I've tripped and flew, like, that far before. But to be fair, he's an old man, so.
I don't think he's, you're making it sound like he's 95. That man is, like, 60.
I don't know his fucking life, okay?
It's scary. It's scary to think, because we can see him through the night vision camera. But it's scary to think that he's just walking around aimlessly with no flashlight and nothing. He's just walking around in the dark, bumping into shit, probably bumping a fucking ghost. That's scary. The whole, like, I think this movie is so scary to me because I put myself in their positions. I'm like, I would have thrown myself off that 5th story window the second we couldn't get out.
Was it even 5 stories? They said 80 feet, right? I don't know how far that is. But, like...
80 feet would take me out.
Okay, but
I'm ready.
Let's get to the window. Let's tie shit up and jump down, Mimi. Let's figure something out.
Did they have things?
They didn't have their toolbox because they're banging on these... Because it's a mental hospital, so they have fucking bars all over their windows. And they're, like, just banging on it with their arms. And I was like, why did they bring the tools in? And then right after I said that, he's like, I left the fucking tools in the car. And I was like, okay, but why did you leave him? And why did they need really, why did they have to lock themselves in? There was no need
They
for
said
them.
that in the movie. They said that in the movie, and Lance was like, oh, it'll be cool for the show. It's for the show.
But they don't have to know. Like, you literally could have just...
No, they don't.
Yeah. You said, enough
stupid.
of this.
That's their own fault, honestly.
There is this one shot that is kind of... I just... Ever since I was like, okay, story time. When I remember being in a bunk bed as a kid, like, on the bottom shelf, and I just remember a hand on the side. Like let's say the bunk bed is pushed to the wall. I'm, like, to the wall. I remember an arm on the side coming up and grabbing me. And I have never told anyone about that. And it, like, never... I just remember that, though.
What? Did you just now remember that?
Well, I was thinking, like, there's a scene where they wake up because they pass out a lot from exhaustion. I don't blame them, because it's fully been past a day now, and they're in there. Well, to their knowledge, it's been past a day. And they wake up, and there's just these huge arms in the ceiling, and the walls coming out, and that kind of just opened up that memory for me.
That's the silly bit for me. I'm like, this is stupid. That you could have done without that. No, that happened to me. Okay, that didn't happen to me. But one time I was a child. I was like 7 or 8, and I was sleeping in the back of my mom's car, and we were stuck in traffic, and I kind of like put my hand on the window, and I remember that I saw a hand on the other side of the window, like, put their hand where my hand was, and I immediately shot up. I'm like, what the fuck? Somebody's trying to get in the car. Nobody there.
So that was the day that Paula found out what a reflection was.
No, I felt somebody go.
I said I felt. Yeah, that's good. Especially if the car was moving, that'd be pretty spooky.
No, the car wasn't moving.
Oh my god, it's like the scene from Final Destination 2. There's like a woman. She like puts her hand on the car door and like scares her. You were in Final Destination 2.
I can be in Grave Encounters 3, Vicious Brothers. Call me.
We need a pooping lesbian, and we got one right here.
I'm ready.
I would totally be down. That sounds so fun.
That does sound very fun.
That sounds so fun. We could be like, because I don't know if you follow Dead Meat, the channel.
Yeah.
I didn't see the new Scream movie, but apparently they have a cameo in the Scream movie, which is like kind of cool.
Really?
Yeah, they're like talking about like Stab 7 or Stab 8.
Oh yeah.
I was that's really cool. That could be us.
Yeah.
Mírala. Yeah, the arm scared me just because it dug up that memory of me laying in bed and literally seeing an arm.
The one part that doesn't scare me is the part that scares you in the movie, so it all builds perfectly.
And it reminds me of, I think it's Land of the Dead, the original, where there's a scene where she's like dreaming and like the arms come out. You've probably seen it. It's like an old film where the arms come out of the wall. And
Yeah.
If you see in that shot, there's one hand that gets stuck and it's like wiggling and it's like it's like whoa. Yeah, if I find that clip, I'll send it and post it on the pages. TC he gets grabbed in the tub, which is pretty spooky because they're building up like, oh, there's blood in this tub, and they go there and Matt's near the tub.
Yeah, for some reason TC kind of goes to grab Matt and he grabs the edge of the tub for some reason, and somebody's like, TC, what the fuck are you doing? And he looks back and literally his whole face is basically in the tub. He goes, what the fuck? And then he just gets snatched by that lady into the water and then disappears completely. They turn the tub over and he's just not there anymore.
Yeah, it spills out all the blood. I think that's a really cool touch. I really like that. Like this movie, the reason why I can watch this movie a lot is because it has a lot of elements that I like about this movie. Like the only thing about it that I really don't care for is probably the CGI and maybe the ending, but
yeah.
But like I think the second movie kind of like builds, like it just makes it better in my opinion.
And that's why I like the franchise, because I think they weren't like trying to take themselves too seriously in the first one, and they were like, okay, we saw what people didn't like about this and they make fun of it in the sequel.
And bring back the bad CGI.
Yeah, well, that still scares the shit out of me. I swear to God, if you would have seen me watch this movie, whenever the ghosts pop up, because I've seen this movie so many times, I know exactly when the ghosts come up. I have to do this.
Just look away.
The whole scene, and I know when the screams are gonna come, and that doesn't scare me. It's the fucking horrible CGI that scares me.
Oh yeah, they find Matt. I forgot to say that. They find him, but it doesn't matter because when a ghost physically attacks Lance at one point and is beating the shit out of him, and then what's her name?
That's a good jump scare.
It is, because he runs right at the fucking camera. Sasha goes to help. Sasha goes to help him, and then while they're doing whatever, Matt is just like, because they find an elevator, and Matt is just like, well, see ya, girls. And
that would have been me.
Oh, for sure. Same. I'm like, if we're not for sure getting out of here, I'm going to jump to my death. But then you would be stuck there forever as a ghost.
Oh, yeah. Well, maybe if you jump out the window, you're not stuck.
Yeah. Well, at what point, where are the good ghosts at? Where are the good ghosts at? I
think maybe all the ghosts that are stuck there are the bad ghosts that got tortured.
Okay.
That would make sense, because they said that the doctor did like 150 surgeries, and then you can see like all the experiments that he did on people's brains and stuff at the end.
Which looked like a JPEG. I was looking at that picture because it's like a picture of a guy and his brain's exposed in the front. I said, this looks like a JPEG picture over this man's forehead. It did not look right. Yeah, I guess so. If you kind of just like pass over. And maybe this is just Bad Girls Club for ghosts. Only bad ghosts live here. Kind of that kind of situation. And then Sasha... Oh, I forgot to say, she gets, like, cut the fuck up on her back. Like, they just wake up and she has, like, cuts all over her back. And they all have hospital tags on their wrists. Pretty spooky.
Oh, yeah. Oh, but before the ghost that attacked Lance, didn't he find, like, a tongue on the floor? And then he looks up, and it's another one of those horrible CG ghosts.
On the ceiling?
Yeah.
I don't remember that. Maybe I was taking notes. That probably happened.
It was the same ghost that attacked him in the hallway.
Oh.
Which, a tongue... Just kidding, that's an ear. Never mind.
Which?
I was gonna say, there's a tongue in Blackwater, but that's an ear. Everybody go watch Blackwater, the best croc movie in the world.
Well, we were gonna watch that, but...
No, we were gonna watch Lake Placid.
Lake Placid, yeah, with Betty White. Rest in peace.
Oh, I always forget that she died. Look, I drew the ghost that was on the ceiling.
I drew the fart cloud, I think, that attacks him. Where is that at?
Make this the poster for Grave Encounters 3.
Oh, I found the cloud. It's really tiny. There's a fart cloud. Speaking of cloud, a big nasty fart cloud gets Sasha when they... Because they eventually go in the elevator shaft. They go to the tunnels because they think the tunnels mean something. That they'll like get out that way. But they said they've been walking for like days, right? Or something. It feels like days.
Yeah, because he said he didn't even need the light anymore. He could just walk.
That's kind of scary.
Isn't that terrifying? That concept of like being stuck down there forever and they can't even find the exit to go up anymore. It's just that's where they are. And that's it. He has to eat a fucking rat.
A rat jumping around the corner looking for food. Which I would
thought...
have
Chuck E. Cheese.
Chuck E. Cheese. I would have thought, like, if I looked at that rat, I mean, at this point he's probably delirious because he's been in there for a very long time. I would have been like, I'm about to follow this rat because where the fuck did this rat come from? And where is it getting water? Where is it getting food? Let me go find where that fucking bitch is.
That would have been smart.
But he also was walking for days. Probably, so it can't be days. They didn't have water.
Alone. At some point, the thing that you could see at the bottom of how long they've been recording, it's just fumbled up, like the compass and everything.
Yeah.
Oh.
So at you'll see it in a lot of found footage in the bottom right corner. It shows like the time, like this is so and so on this day, and I really like that touch at the end where it's just going crazy. Like, it's just going super fucking fast and you don't even know. Sasha, she gets taken by a cloud. Like, that's all we see. A big,
that was stupid. That was very stupid.
They were like, how do we write her off? And they just go, what if that fart cloud from earlier came back? Yeah, I didn't like that at all. She looked fucking bonkers at the end, though. If you just, like, looked at his, like, video of himself... And she's, like, right next to him. Her eyes are just, like, she has seen a lot.
Gone. The first thing that happened when, like, her hair got pulled, she was gone.
Yeah.
She was like, I'm done.
She's doing nothing but screaming in this movie.
Yes.
Her poor vocal cords. Kind of basically the end, like, he eventually finds a door, and he's like, well, let me go in here. And it's, like, the lair for Dr. Freaky Man.
Yeah, with like a satanic ritual thing, which is why I think it's so haunted. Maybe somebody did something there.
Prequel.
Grave Encounters 3 and 4. Come on.
And we just got you a whole ass franchise. Sign us up. We could really do a lot with this franchise. I'm gonna email them. Could you imagine if I wrote a fucking horror movie?
That'd be fun.
But I mean, at what point, like, because I always think about, like, found footage like this, like, at what point are they just doing the script themselves? Like, how much do they ad-lib of found footage?
They have to ad-lib a lot. Do you think TC's slurs were all improv?
He's like, that's a big-ass kitchen or something. Or he says something about glory hole.
Yeah, glory hole, and then he was like, cook dinner for me, bitch, or something, like, yeah. That had to be improv. He must be a piece of shit person. I'm
Um,
sorry, I don't want to
wow,
assume.
drag him. He's not even on the cover. Everyone else in this movie is on the cover except for him.
Wasn't he the only person of color in the movie?
Yeah, racism. The Vicious
That's a little
Brothers.
icky.
The Vicious Brothers, because we got it right here. We got it right here. I got the picture right here, and I'm fucking CTC on here, even though he lasts longer than the bitch that I'm pointing at. He lasts longer in the movie than Houston, and he's not even on the cover. Racism.
That fully Bechdel test? No.
Oh,
Sorry.
this absolutely doesn't pass the Bechdel test. The only other woman we get in this movie, her face is blurred out because it's a teenage girl, but they don't even distort her voice. I was like, isn't that the whole point of like distorting someone's face is that you'll distort their voice too?
The only women in this movie are ghosts.
Are ghosts, the girl with a distorted voice, and then Sasha, who is just screaming. He gets lobotomized in the end. Lance. Aw.
Yeah. That's kind of... How do you think they did that? Because that's very... Do you think he can just do that with his eyes?
Yeah, his eyes looked kind of crazy.
Yeah, he was just like, I am Lance Preston, signing off.
Yeah, he must have huffed a lot of poppers to do that or something. I don't know. It looked like they were like, you know when people used to like do this thing where they like would pull their eyelid up, but it was like folded in?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh god, that hurts my eyes thinking about that. It kind of looked like that. Like it looked very weird. He's like, I'm all good now, and then the movie ends. Or as
but not quite.
Not quite because there's a
the
second
sequel.
one. And my TV was still playing the movie, even though I turned it off. That was kind of spooky.
This movie is spooky. This movie has spooky energy. That's why I had a horrible nightmare. I had 2 nightmares.
I am like at home by myself for like a few days now. I'm like, is someone gonna come in here and what if an arm just grabs me and like pulls me up or something?
That would be really good content.
Oh, on OnlyFans too. All those arms, what are they gonna do? I have to ask you, what was your favorite kill of the movie?
I think the tub. It's the most original. I feel like all of the others are very they fall into the trope of found footage, but this one is very original. Like they set it up from the beginning, so it's like a perfect seed for them to find the tub full of blood later. And just to like get sucked in and disappear. That's cool.
Yeah, I would say that's my favorite thing too. Or my favorite kill. My favorite thing in this movie I have not said because I just...
What's your favorite thing?
Was when they are about to... Right when they get locked in, they go, it's time to have some grave encounters. And it all looks like the poster right here. It looks like them on the poster where they're like shoulder to shoulder, like arms crossed, like, yeah. Grave encounters. That's amazing. And I wish in the second one they say, it's time to have some grave encounters too. But like,
and the funny thing is, the grave encounters too. And the funny thing is that at the beginning, like the producer of the show was like, this is all the footage as is. And so I think that maybe for a second they thought, should we add like the pam 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 to their intro? Because it's so ridiculous. It's just them in dead silence going, this is grave encounters.
Grave encounters.
Dead silence.
And Sasha's over there like, yes, please. I got my boom mic here. I love her on the poster because there's a light here and here of her on the poster, and it looks like she has like glowing earmuffs. It kind of actually washes her out, and I never see her on the poster because of it. I enjoyed this movie. I would love in the sequel. I don't know what would you like to see in a sequel if they did Grave Encounters 3? What do you want to see?
I'd like them to follow the line of the second one, where I like the second one so much because it's like they don't know if it's real or if it's not, which is what happens when you Google this movie. Is it real or is it not?
Yeah.
And I would like them not to take themselves too seriously with the third one, because I feel like that's why I like the second one so much. It's just this guy who reviews movies and finds it for some reason. And I like your idea a lot.
They're like playing with time.
Yeah.
I would love that. Like, could you imagine if there's like a new group of them, and they I don't know what would bring them to the hospital. Like maybe someone looking for someone, like a family member. I don't know what would bring them there, but it would be cool if they like just ran into the other crew of the movie and they're like, I thought y'all were dead. I think that would be cool. Or something like that. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Play with time. I mean, the whole thing is like an obstruction of time. They did this in the Blair Witch, the 2018 movie. Was it 2018?
Yeah.
The most recent one where they're like, they get sent a video and it's like someone running through the house. Spoiler alert for that movie. But it turns out that video was them running through the fucking house.
Yeah, that's fun. I like that movie except for The Witch.
Wow, because you don't like the Bechdel test and you hate women?
No, because it's the appeal of Blair Witch is that you never see the witch, and then you see the witch and it's like made of sticks.
Oh, I thought she was like an actual like person.
Me too. That's why I hated it.
I do like that thing where they find like a stick and they snap it and it snaps the other girl in half.
Yes, that's fun.
Play
with that. Play with that. Play with your environment.
Oh, okay. So, like, what would you do? I know we're going a little bit over time, but, like, what would you do for, like, a kill for Grave Encounters 3? Something, like, groundbreaking. Now, we didn't see in the second one because we saw electroshock, I believe. So, like, 1 and 2.
Something shocking. Ooh, let me think. What would you do?
What would I do? It has to be something, like, kind of invented. I would love it if they, like, get to the roof somehow. Ooh. Okay, so someone's running. They're running, and the walls change, and it changes in between someone going through, and it like cuts them in half or something.
I don't think they would have the budget to do something like that.
Okay, that's never stopped them.
What if? Okay, they could like one person walking around alone. They have like one of those GoPros that go in your forehead.
Mm-hmm.
And they find a room with like a dentist chair, and they get like thrown into it and they get stuck there, and then you can just see like the ghosts coming at you with like things.
And they'd be like, woo!
Yeah. And then the camera just ends, and that's yeah.
Or I would love it if they could see the feed of it and they'd be like, hey, what is so and so doing? And they're looking at you. And then you just, like, look up and their body, like, falls onto them or something.
Yeah.
I know someone was, like, wishing they did that for the Blair Witch movie. Like, could you imagine, like, if they have GoPros and they have, like, a live view, and all you see is, like, someone's camera moving, like, really fast in the hallway, right? Like, it's going so fast. And they're like, what are they doing? And it's, like, coming at you, and they look, it's just their fucking head. I like the cutting the half with the wall. If they could figure that out, that'd be fucking gnarly and insane.
You watched The Boys?
A little bit of it. That's so gory.
This is going very off. Yeah, very gory. But I think that's what you're thinking. There's a scene in the premiere of season 3. Completely off topic. You can take all of this out. There's one of the people who has superpowers can make himself tiny.
He goes in someone's dick. He goes
and then sneezes
and kills the person.
And he gets big again and he snaps in half. And you see the whole thing. Like, you see the man going into the tip of the other man's penis and walking around and doing
just
this
like,
and that.
I hate it.
It's so bad.
Because I saw that on Twitter, and I was like, what's this about? And then I watched the end, and I was like, oh my God.
That's what you want for the the third one.
But I would want them to, like, fall down, and it, like it maybe, like, cuts a leg off, or I don't know if I want it as... Like, I don't want their whole fucking face to, like, rip in half. I love that they did that in the second movie when, like, they like one of them is running ahead of them and they turn the corner, or she's, like, behind and she's just gone.
Yeah.
Play with that. I think that'd be good. Overall, what are your general thoughts, closing statements of this movie?
I adore this movie, but it's not, like, As Above, So Below where I could watch it every day. I can watch this during the daytime with somebody, preferably, because it scares. Again, I think this is the sentence that I've said the most. It scares the shit out of me.
I would probably... I mean, I have watched it again. I watched it last month, and I watched it again this time. So, yeah. I mean, it's like, if you just want, like, a movie to put on with a couple of your friends, have some snacks, I think this is a movie for that occasion.
It's great. And also, I'm the found footage supremacist. It's my favorite horror
You're a
genre. I don't care what
supremacist?
anybody says.
You're a supremacist? A white
A
supremacist?
found. Oh my god.
Wow, Paula. Wow. Or as they say
Don't
in
do me.
Spain, wow. Wow. Wow, Paula. Yeah, I'm bilingual.
No, listen. I don't care what anybody says. Found footage horror movies are so fun. They're always very fun to watch with your friends, and every so often you get most of them are stupid, but every so often you get a nice little gem like this one. So, if you want to dip your toes into found footage territory, I would suggest this movie.
I'd suggest this probably as above, so below.
Yes.
I can't think of it. Oh, Wreck.
Wreck, that's a good one.
That's a really good one. Even though the third one isn't found footage, like they kind of drop it midway. I still love that movie. Have you seen all of them?
All of them. The wedding one is so fun.
I love the wedding one.
I don't like the boat one. The boat one makes me claustrophobic.
Yeah. But I think it's okay. The fourth one's okay. I love that they bring the actress back from the original.
Mm-hmm.
The third one, I wish it ended different. It just after all that, a fucking deaf like zombie kills her.
Anyways, found footage movies. They are good.
Are there any ones coming out recently that you're like, I can't think of any?
No.
I have to look some up.
I would hope so because the I think the most recent one was Host, the one that was done through Zoom.
Yeah, which got a lot of awards. Fuck Zoom.
It's good. It's a good movie. It's a good movie. Fuck Zoom. But it is a fun movie. I think it's a very fun movie. I think that kind of had like a resurgence with Unfriended and this one. But I wish they would go back to like the grave encounters of the. I love it when they go into haunted houses. I love it.
Paula, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at StanLexi, and
go like this.
Then you can on Twitter at StanLexi, and then I'm also hanging around the IMHO socials, so at IMHO the show on everything. And yep, where can we find you, Terrah?
You can find me at Terrah Card. That's TRRAHCARD under almost all platforms. You can find this podcast on Stay on the Line, TC on Twitter, Stay on the Line on. Let me look. I don't remember if it's Stay on the Line podcast or Stay on the Line. Stay on the Line podcast on Instagram. Podcast on Instagram and Stay on the Line on Facebook, even though I'm not on there a lot. I thought about, what is it called? Letterbox?
Yeah.
I need to make a letterbox.
I love Letterbox. My letterbox is... I love Letterbox because you can, like... Your profile is always can be very unhinged, which is what I like to do with mine.
Well, and you can, like, break it up between movies, right? Or, like, genres?
Yeah.
You can be like...
Look, Mine says It's Giving Unhinged, and it's Florence Pugh in Midsummer.
I love Florence Pugh. Can you make, like, categories where you're, like, found footage movies I like? Can you, like, make
Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
God.
You can make lists.
Oh my God, you need to do that. What is this called? Letterboxd? Oh, and you can find this podcast on Patreon, patreon.com/Stay on the Line, which I had to thank Paula for that, because Paula was like, girl, why don't you just make a Patreon? And it's almost been a year now of a Patreon. I have currently 19 subscribers, or patrons, so shout out to them. I did have more, but when you don't post for a bit, they leave. So, thank you to all my patrons. This is for y'all. And if you guys want to see a commentary track with me and Paula, let us know what movies you want us to watch, because I think I can, like, figure out a way for it to get us our faces and then, like, a little bit of the screen. And we have new episodes every Thursday.
Yay! Season 2, baby!
Season 2, baby! I didn't get a new logo for like how they have like a different cover art. I might do that. I might update it. Well, I don't know yet.
Goodbye.
I threw up in my mouth. Until next time, make sure you stay on the line. Bye.
Bye.